Vaio F. So this is the F series. The specific model is the VPC F113FX. I'm going to do a quick video review, a little bit different than what we normally do, but I figured I'd give it a shot. So, like I said, this is the Vaio F. This is their performance desktop replacement in the consumer segment. It starts around $999. We're testing a model that's something like $1,100, and then they go all the way up to about $1,600. And I'm talking about the street price now. So if you go to sonystyle.com or whatever, you're going to see something a little bit higher than that. This model has a 16.4-inch display. It weighs 6.9 pounds and measures around 15 by 10, and thickness varies from 1.2 inches to 1.6 inches. It comes in black or titanium. So those are the basics. So yeah, just to take a quick look at it, we can see this is a nice media laptop. It's a reasonable size. It's not too big, not too small. 16.4 inches is a nice size for something you're going to use at home but not carry around too much. So, like I said, it is 6.9 pounds, so it's not a featherweight. But if you really needed to put it in a bag, it'd be possible. It's mostly plastic, but it's a nice build quality for a consumer notebook. It does get a little thick, but again, it is reasonable. This is definitely the type of laptop you could, a student could bring to class or something like that. But you do, if you are going to buy it, you should be interested in a media laptop with some media capabilities. So we'll do a quick look at the ports. Now that we have my notes ready, so we see headphone, microphone, USB. Here's your optical drive. It could be Blu-ray or DVD, depending on what model you get. Of course, the Blu-ray ones will play DVDs. Oh, that's the power button right there. It uses the standard Sony barrel hinge. There's your DC in, gigabit Ethernet, VGA, HDMI, eSATA plus USB, Express card plus 34. There's your iLink, your 1394 or whatever. Wireless on-off switch, and then are your two card readers, SD and then the Sony's Magic Gate. Get a good look at the glossy display right there. I don't know if I could show it off. Anyway, get a good look at the glossy display. It runs at 16 by 9. In the past, there's been a 19 by 10. That's a 1920 by 1080, 1080p model if you want to spend a little bit more. As far as parts go, this one runs Intel's Core i7 720QM with 6 gigabytes of RAM and a 500 gigabyte disk. It has nvidia's GeForce 310M graphics, so it's a pretty reasonable entry-level graphics card. If you want to spend a little bit more, sorry about that, then you could upgrade to the 740QM, that's the Core i7 740QM, or the Intel's Core i7 840QM, so a little bit higher end on the processors. This one runs 6 gigabytes of RAM, but you can go up to 8 if you'd like. And then I already mentioned the display. As far as storage goes, this is a 5400 RPM, 500 gigabyte disk. There's also, you could take that up to 640 gigabytes, or you can go with a 256 gigabyte SSD. That NVIDIA 310M, you can upgrade to a 330M. So you're going from entry-level dedicated graphics to getting towards the lower level of an enthusiast. Let's see, my computer. Whatever. I'll skip that stuff for now. Anyway, as far as gaming goes, you can do some light gaming on this with 310QM. We're talking like Modern Warfare 2 with low details, or something along those lines. Older games like Far Cry would be fine, or depends on what you play. Battlefield Bad Company 2, that would work too, but you have to keep your details limited. WoW would be fine, but you're not playing any GTA 4 on this. HD video is fine. Blu-ray works, obviously, so that's good too. As far as the OS, we have Win 7 Home Premium 64. Yeah. Just reading off my notes here. So some models have a backlit keyboard. You'll see that we don't at the time, but some do, so that's a nice perk. Let's talk battery life. The system really is designed to be used in the home, so battery life is generally under 3 hours. If you're playing it off a DVD and really stressing it, you're going to get very little battery life, talking under an hour. But for measurement's sake, if you're worried about this, I would say expect to get about 2 hours and change at a laptop using mobile settings. So just looking at some parts now, we can see island style keyboard. I like the keyboard on this. I think Sony does a nice job. Number pad. Up top we have some media controls. Play, pause, stop, those. There's also a display on and off button, which can be useful at times. Here we have an assist button, then your S1 shortcut, and your Vaio button. Then over there we see that LED kind of shines through, so you know your computer's on. Reasonable trackpad. It's multi-touch compatible with a that kind of raised grip. Sony also uses on the Vaio Z. That's nice. The display, you can see up there, my light. It's a glossy display. Sony does nice displays, and this one at 16:9 really isn't that bad. This isn't one of my favorite ones that Sony has put out. The colors tend to look a little bit washed out, so I found it to be somewhat disappointing. The design itself, as you can see, it's pretty boring. I think it's fine for a consumer notebook, and I've definitely seen uglier systems in this, but this one isn't winning any design awards. It's pretty slick. It looks like a Sony, but there's nothing particularly exciting about it. And that covers most of it. One thing I want to point out is that there was a recall from Sony, or at least an advisory. I don't know if they ever actually did a recall, but it affected about 530,000 Sony F series and Sony C series laptops. So if you do get one, you might want to look into that and see if your model was affected. You could send it back to Sony if you get it. It is fixable. Or you could fix it with a BIOS update, which is a bit of a pain, but it is possible. It was basically they were overheating, and it could have burned people. That's how hot it got, but I don't think anyone was actually burnt. So yeah, overall, the Sony Vaio F. This is a pretty solid media notebook. It's a bit on the pricey side, so you're going to be able to see options from HP and Dell and Lenovo for cheaper. But overall, it's a good system. Performance is going to vary based on the specs you go with. So with it ranging from about $1,000 up to $1,600, you could bet there's going to be a significant amount of variance. But if you get a reasonable build in the mid-range, we're talking 720 QM, 6 gigabytes of graphics, 6 gigabytes of RAM, and then maybe if you could sneak that 330M graphics card in there, I think you're going to appreciate it. So definitely some variance in performance, but overall, it's a solid package. You're just going to have to spend a little bit more. So